What's up, guys? Dillon here. I want to talk about something that I've noticed with a lot of entrepreneurs. There's an epidemic of shyness. There's so many people don't want to go online. There's people who have a lot of great content, a lot of great ideas, and they don't want to go online because of how they look. They don't want the judgment. They don't want to get outside of their comfort zone. Maybe they post one thing, they get a few dislikes, and they pull the video down. I've seen that happen with my friends. And the fact is, you start to care about what's happening in someone else's skull. And I always say, stop worrying about other people's neurons and how they're firing. Who cares? If you're going down the street and you look in a building and there's lights on in that building, you don't care what's going on in that building. Well, that's the equivalent of somebody else's neurons being on. When you look at somebody and they have an idea, it's not really them thinking anyways. It's some regurgitation of some criticism they heard somewhere else and they're trying to apply it to you. You're shutting yourself down based on the dumb opinion of dumb people. I always think about this too. 100 IQ is average, and 50% of the population has an IQ below 100. So a lot of the comments you're getting that are negative are from people that probably don't even have 100 IQ. More than that, 26.2% of, I believe, the American population has a diagnosable personality disorder. So you may be getting flack from people who are mentally ill, and that stops you. But the thing that stops you the most is just the way you think about reality, the way you think about yourself, what you're capable of, what other people are going to think of you, and it stops you. There's an epidemic of shyness. There's also an epidemic of narcissism from people who don't really have the skill. I wrote a paper a long time ago called Premature E-Publication, people who publish things before they were ready. And I thought that's always a bad thing to do. You need to have a certain level of quality before you start posting too much. Now, I know Gary Vee has said quantity over quality. I agree with that. You have to be bad before you're going to be good. You have to go through a phase of being mediocre and awkward before you actually develop the skill set that is an expert level. That said, maybe you want to do a lot of posts just to yourself and then watch them back and start to pinpoint what's good, what's bad about it. I did that a lot. I did a ton of audios that I hated, I didn't like, and I didn't release, but I studied them, you see, and that's the key. I wasn't just doing them and then saying, oh, that sucks, forget it, you have no talent. I would study them, I'd break them down, and then I'd watch other people in the field who were great communicators and figure out what the hell they were doing. What the fuck did they just say? Why did I watch that whole video and get to the end of it and there wasn't anything really there, but I was entertained? So there are certain gimmicks and tactics you learn. But number one, you have to overcome the shyness that you have within. You're raised to be a person who doesn't toot their own horn. And there's something about social media. It feels like you're tooting your own horn, that you're self-absorbed. I've had this problem, not being self-absorbed. Well, I guess that's true. There's a thing I always think about. If you're shy, you're self-absorbed. You're thinking about yourself too much. If you start to vacate the I, then it's easier to post. Richard Branson's mother told him, and you know, Richard Branson is not a shy person, that if you're shy, you're thinking about yourself too much. That's interesting, isn't it? You think shyness is thinking about others, but really you're thinking about yourself. You're being self-centered when you're shy. If you have good information, if you're a funny person, or you just have something interesting to say, or a great product to promote, or a great service, or if you're an athlete and you need to promote your game, you need to start putting your highlights online. You need to start sending your clips out. You have to get over the shyness, okay? You have to. It's so important. It's probably crippled a lot of potential great people, you know? And the only retreat from that, let's say you have a great product or a great service or a great idea, a great book that you haven't published, great articles you haven't submitted. Everyone suffers from, in my Killer Instinct program, I talk about this, the Van Gogh delusion, or the Van Gogh complex, that you're unrecognized genius, that you'll become famous after you're dead, and then people will see, oh, they just overlooked you. That's a scary place to be. You don't want to exist in that world. You don't want to exist in that way. It's a defense mechanism to protect your ego. It's a way to disappear from the world and hide and then delude yourself, trick yourself, perform a magic trick on yourself to say, I'm really good, people just don't know it because I haven't put anything out. They wouldn't recognize my greatness anyways. So overcome your shyness, overcome the fact that you're going to put stuff out, it's going to get ridiculed, it's going to get made fun of. Learn from that. You'll probably find that most of the content you put out gets more likes than dislikes by a lot. I mean, if you watch most videos where people are earnestly trying to put forth good information, they typically get a positive response. And then you get morons, you get idiots and low IQ people and mentally ill people, and I'm not making fun of mentally ill people, of course, but you don't know if somebody has a personality disorder and they're just angry at the world, or they're paranoid, or they're hysteric, or something like that, and they're posting comments on your video. You have no idea. You have no idea why people are being negative, why somebody's putting a thumbs down. It probably has nothing to do with you and a lot to do with them. So overcome your fear of shyness, overcome your fear of criticism, and just start posting. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking my own advice. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.